Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda, and today I have for you a book haul. I think this is the fourth book haul that I have done so far this year, and I've accumulated quite a few throughout the month of July because my birthday was at the end of July. And they've been sitting on my kitchen table because I don't want to put them away to have to take them off to film, so I've just been stacking my books up. So I have acquired books as birthday gifts from buying from Barnes& and Noble, from buying at the Sequim Lavender Festival, and also at a library sale. It wasn't like an official library sale. My local library, or the one by my work, has a room with books for sale, and then I know every couple of months or every couple of weeks they do like an official sale. We didn't go during that. We were just turning in Maddie's summer reading list, so we stopped by to get some books. I guess since that used book section is the smallest, I'll start with that. So the first book I have is The Greatcoat by Helen Denmore. This takes place in the winter of 1952 in Yorkshire when a lady and her husband, I think they might move to Yorkshire, and she finds herself lonely and vulnerable as she adjusts to the realities of being a housewife. There's this RAF greatcoat who is hidden in the back of their closet, and she, I think, maybe starts a relationship with him. I'm not entirely sure. It's a very short book. It has giant writing or print, and so I don't really want to know too much about it. This will be a pretty quick read through, and I think it'll be a good winter book since it is set during winter. So we'll see how I like it. The next two books I got are part of a fantasy, and they are Daughter of the Orist. It's Daughter of the Forest and Son of the Shadows by Juliet Marillier. I think this one is the first one and this is the second one, and I think there are three total, but I'm not entirely sure. So basically you follow a girl named Sorcha. Maybe that's how you sound her name. It's Sorcha. Sorcha? I don't know. But she's the seventh child and only daughter of Lord Colum of Seven Waters. She's protected by her six brothers, and she's got a passion for adventure. No, maybe one of her brothers does. Anyway, father is bewitched by a woman who won his heart, and brothers are bound by a spell that only the sister can lift. So she has to basically embark on a journey to find a magic, find a land, find something that'll unbind her brothers. I don't know. It just seems like a really good fantasy series that I think I would enjoy. And at the bookstore or the library, Skylar actually pointed these out, and he's like, "That sounds good." Not that he'll read it because it's a physical book, but maybe if I like it, we'll find them on audiobooks so he can listen to them on his drive. We'll see. Next, I think we'll do books that I bought brand new, and then we'll save like the birthday gifts until last because those are the biggest section. So the first book I have is the book I bought at the Sequim Lavender Festival. And I've seen this author at Barnes& and Noble in the local author section quite a bit. And she actually knows my violin teacher, but I bought Not by Sight by Kate Breslin, and she signed and personalized this for me. It's my first ever personalized book. It's not my first signed book, but definitely my first personalized book. And I think this is not like an official series. She did tell me how to read them, but I can't remember what she said. But this takes place in the spring of 1970 when all of Britain's attention is on the World War I front and thousands of young men serving their country on the front lines. So there is an Earl of Stonebrook Brooke, who refuses to enlist, and then a young, wealthy suffragette who will do anything to assist her country. So there's something that happens there. I don't know too much about it. I love historical fiction, especially historical fiction based during World War I and World War II. And I know this is what Kate Breslin writes a lot about. So I'm going to have to do some research to figure out where I'm supposed to start. And I would have bought more of her books, but we went on the last day of the Lavender Festival and she was all sold out of them except for this one, which I believe is her newest release, or maybe this is the one that came before her newest release. I think Far Side of the Sea is her newest one, and maybe this one you're supposed to read before it. I'll figure it out. If I find out information, I can leave it down in the description box below and let you know, but I'm really excited to read this. And then I got sucked down the rabbit hole of, I think, extra 20% off of some books at Barnes & Noble. I know this wasn't like a buy one get one free or half off or whatever, but I did pick up The Life of Pi by Yann Martel. I've always heard about this book but never actually picked it up, and all I know is there is a boy and a tiger in the boat, and the tiger wants to eat him, and maybe the boy tells him stories. I'm not entirely sure. But I would like to watch the movie eventually, so since this was on such a good deal, I decided to pick it up. I also bought The Boys in the Boat by Daniel James Brown, and this is 9 Americans in their epic quest for the gold at the 1936 Berlin Olympics. What I know about this is that it's the rowing team from UW, which is the University of Washington in Seattle, who went to the Olympics. So I've wanted to read this for quite a while just because it is about local people, also based right before World War II starts, about the Berlin Olympics, which one of my favorite books of last year, Unbroken by Laura Hillenbrand, is about the life of Louis Zamperini, who was a runner in the 1936 Berlin Olympics, and then he joined the war as an army bombardier. So I'd like to kind of go back into that nonfiction time period surrounding this, and I think it will be really good. That's all I really know about it, and that's kind of all I want to know about it. So I've been wanting to pick this up for quite some time, so since, again, it was a good deal, I decided that now was the time. And the other book I have is another book I've been looking at that I haven't picked up, but it's intrigued me for basically since it came out, but that is The Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. And the spine on this is really pretty, but also one of the Pop Sugar reading prompts for the year is to read a book recommended by a celebrity, and I know Tom Hanks recommends this. So it takes place in 22 with a 30-year-old count who's deemed an unrepentant aristocrat by a Bolshevik tribunal, and he's sentenced to house arrest in a grand hotel near Kremlin. So that's pretty much all I know about it. This cover just really intrigues me, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what this is about. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about it, but it's been one that has been speaking to me for quite some time, so I did decide that I wanted to pick that up. So next we have birthday presents. Barnes & Noble, I decided that I wanted to start collecting classics in the same like format and print and edition. That's the word. And I decided on the Barnes & Noble classics because they have so many of them. I love paperbacks, and I was gonna go with the Penguin cloth-bound editions, but I didn't like all of the artwork and like designs that were picked for the Penguin cloth-bound edition. So I did decide to go with the Barnes & Noble editions, and I did have a couple already. So the brand new ones that I'm not replacing books with, I think I'm going to start with first. But I want to start with one that's not related that was also a birthday present. My friend Bailey gave me the Lonely Planet New Zealand's Best Tips 26 Road Trips travel guide, because Skylar and I are potentially planning to go to New Zealand on our honeymoon. He wants to go on a cruise now. I really want to go to New Zealand, so we'll see where we go. But she got this for me because she knows we want to visit New Zealand, and so she just thought it would be a cool travel book to flip through and find out more about, since, you know, we're from Washington, so we don't know a whole lot about New Zealand. So books I haven't read yet. I got 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. I have read Around the World in 80 Days by him, and I really enjoyed it, so I do want to read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I'm not going to give synopses of these because it's going to take too long. Next book I have that I read, but my parents' dog, when I lived with them, so my dog ate the copy that I have, was The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. I just wanted another copy of this on my bookshelf. I have also read The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne, but I actually enjoyed this story. This is a book that we had to read in school that I know a lot of people don't enjoy, but I did. Oliver Twist, I think I own this on Audible, but I didn't have a physical copy, and I did like the story quite a bit, so I wanted it, and I love Charles Dickens. I also have the complete Sherlock Holmes volumes 1 and 2 by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I hope to pick these up during fall, like the beginning of fall, maybe like October, November time. But I haven't read any of these stories. I do really like the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies though. So I think it'd just be fun to know the stories and whatnot behind them. Next are books that I am, or copies I'm replacing because I already own them. Some I've read, some I haven't. First I have Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I have read this book, but wanted the Barnes & Noble edition. I also have Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, which is another one that I've read that I really liked. I read this last year or the beginning of this year, but I listened to it on audiobook. This is really silly to have the physical copies because I read most of my classics via audiobook because it's easier for me, but I also like to have copies of the books I really enjoy. I also have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, another book I had to read in school. I've got Dracula by Bram Stoker that I read last year during Halloween. I've got A Christmas Carol and the Chimes and the Cricket on the Hearth by Charles Dickens. I've read A Christmas Carol. I haven't read The Chimes and the Cricket on the Hearth, but that'll be fun to read during Christmas time. I also have A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, which I did read via audiobook and wanted to replace my copy. I've got David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. This is the book that started my collection of Charles Dickens, and I still haven't read this one, so hopefully I will soon, but we'll see. I also have The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Other Stories. I did read The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde last year by Robert Louis Stevenson, and just, again, wanted to replace my copy. I've got Emma by Jane Austen, which I haven't read yet. And then I also have The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas, which I have not read yet. And I think I need The Count of Monte Cristo because I think that's the first book. So I need to go back and get them. But they were all $5. I gave Skylar a wish list of books that I wanted. And like a crazy man who blessedly fuels my love of books, he bought all of the books on my wish list instead of sharing it with everybody and having a few people pick and choose books they wanted to get me. So I wasn't expecting all of these, but I'm really happy to have them. for sure, and to have my classics all match, or at least start towards making them match. So that is my book haul. I tried to keep it short and sweet, even though it was kind of big. Let's count really quickly how many books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 books. We did it in 15 minutes. Go us. So I really hope you enjoyed. I would love to know if you've read any of these books. If any of these books are also on your TBR list, please do let me know, and I will chat with you down in the comments until my next video. Bye!